Hey guys, this is Habib from Server Geeks. In today's session, we are going to discuss about Global Catalog. You can get more details about Global Catalog in TechNet and MSDN blogs. So let's start with the basics. Here is the definition. The Global Catalog is a distributed data repository that contains a searchable partial representation of every object in every domain in a multi-domain Active Directory domain services forest. All right, so that's heavy. So what I want to say is, let's say we have a forest called servergeeks.test, and in this forest we have 3-4 domain controllers. In every domain there will be tons of objects. Now in AD, everything is object. You create a user, that's an object. You create a computer object. You create a user. You create a group. You create a printer. Everything is object in AD. Now every object will have some set of attributes. These attributes are defined in the schema of that AD. So let's say if I create a user, let's say Habib, and as soon as you create the user and you check the properties, you will see some attributes are assigned to it. So these all are defined in the schema. Now we want a global repository which contains some important attributes, not all but some important attributes that I want to be searchable and available for every other domain controller or any service which would like to query about that. So what I want to say is, let me show you this Excel file. So these are all the attributes that Active Directory is maintaining. So this whole column, top to down, this is the every possible Active Directory attributes. So let's say I create a user. So for a user, out of all these 1300 plus attributes, some 100 attributes are given. If I create a group, maybe out of these 1300 attributes, 150 attributes are given. So every object will have all these attributes. Now out of all these attributes, there are few attributes that I would like to cache somewhere or maintain that information somewhere. These attributes are called partial attribute set, PAS, and these are maintained in Global Catalog. So if you see this column here, Global Catalog, so if you scroll down, you can see that there are some information which is showing true. So that means Global Catalog by default is managing a attribute called manager. And if you scroll up, there are some other interesting attributes here. I'll just show you. So if you scroll up, so here, one second. So these all are the attributes which is showing true. That means these will be cached in the Global Catalog server. So I would like to show you some important attributes which we will encounter daily. So there are some attributes like this: object SID, object GUID. These are some attributes that is not only maintained in the domain partition but also maintained in the Global Catalog partition. So in Global Catalog server, the object information with SID and GUID will be stored, as well as there are some other attributes like member attribute. These all will be stored in Global Catalog server and maintained periodically. So now again the question is, let's say I have one Global Catalog server and there is another Global Catalog server, GC2. How they communicate to each other, how they replicate to each other. So all that part is covered previously, and this is the blog. This is our Server Geeks blog. Here we have mentioned all the possible partitions and how they replicate and what they replicate. Also there are a few discussions we covered in the Server Geeks page. This is our Facebook page. Here we have covered a few of the topics, so we are not going to discuss that again. You can refer this later. So let me jump to our VirtualBox. So this is my laptop. Here I'm running a very small lab just to demonstrate the global catalog server. So I'm using Oracle VirtualBox here. So this is Windows Server 2008 server box, and first thing that I would like to see is how does it look. Where do I see it? How can I find what all global catalog servers are available in the forest? So this is a very common question, that how to find a global catalog server. A question in the daily routine life, IT life, or during interviews. So let me show you one by one. So either you can use the traditional old commands like ds query. So you can just type this query in and you will get the results. So what we are doing here is we are putting a parameter isgc for global catalog, and we are searching about global catalog in a domain called servergeeks.test. So if you run this query, I'm going to save my time instead of typing this. If you just run this command, so you can see that it is pointing to DC1. This is a very small lab. I have only two servers, both are domain controllers, DC1 and CA1. So it is pointing to DC1. So from here I can see that DC1 is one of the global catalog server. If you have a very huge environment, and in entire forest if you have 30 global catalog servers, so you will see the 30 global catalog server list here with the information about this server in the schema partition. So I didn't like this. I would like to test some other queries. So there is another way. You can actually go to your DNS and check about it. So let me explore the DNS server. So if you go to administrative tools, DNS, and explore your forward lookup zone, and this is our forest zone DCS. If you explore this, there is a folder here, GC. So if you go here and go to TCP, double click, so this is also showing that DC1 is our global catalog server, and the record is gc._msdcs.domain.com. Or else instead of doing all this, because you have access to DNS, that's why you are able to do this. Let's say you are connected to a user machine, and from there you want to check about a global catalog. Then what you can do is instead of going to DNS console, you can directly perform an NS lookup. So this is the command NS lookup. Then the record that you are trying to query is gc global catalog _msdcs. This is our forest DNS zone dot servergeeks.test. This is the domain name. So let's see what will be the output. And here is the result. So it is returning the IP address of the global catalog server. Fair enough, we have two IP address given to it, so it is showing the details. Now the another way, because nowadays PowerShell is in trend, so another way to get your details regarding global catalog server is use the Active Directory cmdlet. The command that we are going to use is get ad forest and the domain name, and then we will pipe and format the list FL, and the information that we want is global catalogs. So just copy this command, open your PowerShell, this is your Windows PowerShell, and paste it, and here we have the DC1 as the global catalog information. Alright, so now we know that we can get the global catalog information, but still I'm not happy. I want to see the global catalog server. I want to see the data of the global catalog server. So the best way to do is go to ADSI edit and connect to the global catalog partition. So all you have to do is open ADSI edit, or else go to command prompt and type ADSI edit.msc and open, And here I already connected to GC. Let me disconnect and show you from the scratch how we can do this. So once you connect to ADSI Edit console, it will look something like this. So if you right click and you'll get option connect to. Here if you drop down, you can see it is giving you option to connect to default naming context. Default naming context is nothing but your domain partition, configuration partition, and we have schema partition. Root DSC is not a partition, it's just a information kind of thing. It's not information at root level about the directory services. So there will be some information here, but root DSC is not your partition. Now I can't see here the global catalog partition, so that means I can't just directly drop down and see the global catalog here. There is a small thing that you have to do before connecting to GC. So here we have a advanced button. If you click here, and you can see that by default it was showing a lab connection. Now if I switch to global catalog and click OK, my path is changed. It is showing now GC, and change this name so that we should not get confused. So this is a GC, and leave these area configuration connection point and go to computer, and you know about your computer who is your global catalog server, so select that. So if you drop down, you will see the list of DC1, DC2, something like this. Select that one which is your global catalog, or the global catalog server you want to investigate or check, or just type in dc1 dot server geeks dot test. So as soon as you type the details, you will see the query is changing here. So click OK. Oh, I forgot to add one here, DC1. Okay, now click OK, and you are connected to your global catalog partition. Now this is how your global catalog server looks like. This is the information that it is holding. Now what to check here? I mean, I'm in global catalog server, and what all things I can check here. So as I mentioned in the Excel sheet, that global catalog is primarily holding attributes information that need to be available, searchable to everyone in the entire forest. So what is the significance of these few selected attributes? So there are a lot of attributes. So let me explain one of the attributes, which is member attribute. So if you search about member, and yeah, so here we are. So this is one of the attributes, member attribute. So how I will know whether I as a user is part of some security groups. Let's say my account is Habib. I want to know whether Habib account is added to some security groups which is having rights, a lot of rights, so that I can utilize those rights. So all this information can be used by using the member attribute. So the member attribute will handle information about who all are member of a particular security group. So what I want to say is, if you go to global catalog server again, I know there is a security group called enterprise admin. So this is a group. If you right click and properties, and if you scroll down and you find it here, you can see there is a attribute called member, which is being synced or maintained by global catalog. And if you see, it is showing that right now there is a user called administrator who is part of this member. So tomorrow if I add another account, let's say Habib, so I can see my name here, and let's say there are a few other accounts which is added here, so I can see the whole list here. So all this member group information is being cached and handled inside the global catalog. Now tomorrow if I suddenly log into a server and I want to do some enterprise admin level task, So before I do anything, that server will query global catalog server to check whether me my account is having the rights of enterprise admin or not, and global catalog server will help to find it out by using this attribute. Alright, so there are a lot of attributes. You can actually dig into each and every attribute and see what these attributes are doing. So just go to TechNet and find about different attributes. There are attributes which are maintained here. So I was talking about object SID and object width. So these are the attributes which is maintained in global catalog. So let's say there is an object which is having SID some S blah 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 999. Now that object is deleted and recreated and the SID is changed. So that information will be synced here. Okay, so the object SID is now changed. It is now different SID. So all this information is very critical information that I want for different purposes. Now if you go back to our blogs, here you can see what all things it can do. So I will explain it very short. So we know if you want to find an object which is not in my local domain but in some other domain in the same forest, I can actually ask the global catalog to look for it, because it is maintaining the partial attribute information about everyone. So I can find objects, I can use it for authentication purpose, obviously. I can maintain the UPN information in the global catalog, or maybe SID and GUID information and etc. So I can use it for that. I can validate object references, so I can validate whether my account is part of that security group or not, so I can do that. And also I can do a universal group membership caching. So these are few topics that I will explain in detail later. So I explained very quickly by using the member attribute and all. So these are all the functionality of global catalog server. Now we know global catalog server is maintaining not all but few important attributes. Let's say if you get a task that give me a result of all the attributes that are currently being maintained by global catalog. So here's the thing, just run a simple DS query and it will help you out. So here's the command. I'm not going to explain in detail. So what it's basically doing, it is just looking for all the attributes in all the partition which is having the flag is member of partial attribute set equal to true. Okay, so if we copy this and just run it here, so these are all the information, all the attributes which is being managed by global catalog or cached by global catalog. So right now these are all the default. You can go to ADIS edit. Let's say you want to add one more object in this list, you want to add one more attribute in this list, you want to just go ahead here and edit and set it yes, to give it some value. That's it. So this is about global catalog server. We have covered what is global catalog server, how to connect to a global catalog server, how does it look like, and we covered how to find the global catalog servers by using some scripts or queries. Oh, there is another way to actually check the global catalog server. You can actually go to administrative tools, Active Directory sites and services, and okay, let's wait for it. Okay, so here if you expand this site, the server part, you will see all the servers. Now I want to see which one of these server is global catalog, so just expand it and you will see NTDS setting for both of it. So I will so this is one server CA1. I will just select NTDS setting, properties, and here global catalog is unchecked. That means this server is not global catalog server. And if I select this, right click properties, and I can see this one is checked, global catalog server. So this is how we check. This is another way to check global catalog server. There are a few other topics like how to add one more global catalog server, or how to transfer the global catalog server roles to someone else. So these are all basic topics that maybe I will try to cover later. But this was the scope of today's session. I hope you like it. Please do like and share with your friends, and let me know your feedback. Thank you. Have a good day.